great turnout. The participation we have here is, it warms my heart to see this kind of expansion and involvement. So I thank all those who are a part of this effort. It certainly has not been me alone. I appreciate Lieutenant Governor Greg Bell, who's taken it to new heights, Julie Fisher and her department, Shirley Silversmith, and all of you who made this possible. We have this committee that people get together on a regular basis and discuss issues and put together the format for the summit. And certainly I want to thank those who are sponsors. We couldn't do this without our sponsors to step up with their resources and their willingness to help us make this a success. So again, I stand here today very pleased to be here to see what the Native American Summit has grown to become. And I believe it's making it better for all of us. That being said, let me just mention a couple of things that might be of importance today, at least add to the summit. When I was first inaugurated 3 years ago, the phrase I used was a desire and a need to have what I call unprecedented partnerships. There's a need for us, in fact, to get together and work together in this state in unprecedented ways. And I believe that these unprecedented partnerships will lead to unlimited possibilities. That we, in fact, see some significant beneficial outcomes. Now, there's a lot of us working together trying to find ways to improve. But as in us coming together, see my good friend Dr. Dale Tingey out there, American Indian Services. There's a better man in the world than Dale Tingey. I want to meet him. Who loves our state, who loves the Native Americans, and has dedicated his life to improving. The fact that we can partner with American Indian Services and Dale Tingey gives us some synergies, some opportunities to in fact raise the bar and make them do better than it's been in the past. So these unprecedented partnerships are an important part of what I think we need to look for as we work together in unprecedented ways. So that's where we start from, and I think there's a recognition, certainly by me and by all of you, the significant role we all play as part of the fabric of Utah. Now, as we've done this, the outcomes have been pretty remarkable. Not to sound too grandiose and too braggadocio, but I am very proud of the accomplishments of our state that you were all a part of. I don't know if you saw here just in the last week and a half, but the Gallup poll people have been doing some work, and they've been doing some work for 18 months. This is not just a poll done over a period of 2 or 3 days, but over 18 months period of time, tracking 13 different criteria of all 50 states. And the desire with this tracking is to find out, as we go forward into the future, which state in America is going to be the most livable? Where is the most desirable place to live in America? It didn't surprise me necessarily that Utah came out after 18 months of tracking as the #1 place for livability in America. It has with our quality of life, our economic opportunities, good stable education, a good environment in which to raise children, and the rising generation, which we're going to turn this all over to soon. Our relationships with employers and employees, our relationship with our neighbors, all those things that go into find out what's the most desirable place to live. Factoring in, Utah came up #1. That was not the surprise to me. The surprise was #2 was very distant behind us. We are emerging as really the gold standard in America of good state government, good quality of life, that houses good people. Again, you're a big part of our fabric here, 10,000 strong, as Native Americans with our 8 different tribes and government organizations here, which are helping us to become this example to the rest of the country and literally to the world. So I thank you for that, and as we share that success together, I think it hopefully motivates us to do even better things as we go forward. Now, again, I recognize that as I talk about that it's not all roses and blue sky out there for everybody. There are parts of our state which are in fact having struggles. In spite of the fact that the economy in Utah is growing at twice the national average, our unemployment rate has dropped from a high when I came into office of 8.3% to down to 6% now. We still have too many people unemployed. And we have pockets of areas which need improvement. And our Native Americans and some of our reservation issues that we have are at the forefront of where we need to have and find improvement. So when we talk about things like education, which is a key gateway to economic prosperity, we need to talk about how we're doing in educating our Indian children. Are we providing them with opportunities to, in fact, get the education, not just to have a education, but to have the education which aligns up with the demands of the marketplace, so that we can find opportunity for them to get jobs. And that's the same for all of us. It's not unique just to our Native Americans. It's unique to all of us. So education is a key component which I know you understand, and we need to have a frank and open discussion on how we can improve our educational opportunities for our children. Now, I've set as a goal in this state, and you're a part of that effort, that we need to have 66 by 2020, which means 66 by 2020 stands for we need to have 2/3 of our adult population ages 20 to 64 have some kind of post-high school certification or a degree. It's not acceptable any longer for us to say a high school diploma is adequate, because it's not. In the marketplace we face today, more is going to be demanded and required, and if we don't reach that level of attainment, then other people will be hired in place. And those other people might be people from China, from India, from other parts of this country, but it won't be us. And so this goal of 66 by 2020 is not just aspirational, a nice thing to do, a nice thing to strive for. It is an absolute necessity. And so we've got to work together to make sure that we can reach that goal, because if we don't do that, our economy here in Utah will in fact underperform. So that's a key issue that hopefully we'll be working together on as we move forward. We understand the challenges of healthcare. Again, it's the water cooler topic of the day. Everybody's talking about healthcare, the Affordable Care Act. And what does it do to us as a community? Is it going to raise our taxes? Is it going to lower costs? Is it going to be affordable law? Is it misnamed? The concern I have as your governor is the fact that governors have never been invited to the table. It's been a Washington, D.C. one-size-fits-all approach, which I think is in fact short-sighted. I'm trying to work through the National Governors Association to make sure that governors are at the table, regardless of who wins the election in November. Healthcare is going to be an issue that we need to address. And I think it should be led by states, recognizing our unique demographics. In Utah, we're a young population, for example. We have the youngest population in America. Our median age in Utah is 29.8 years of age. In Florida, it's the oldest population. Our median age is in the 50s. A lot of retirement going on there in Florida. People go there to retire. So their health care needs will be somewhat different than ours here in Utah. That's why it ought to be driven by states addressing those regional differences. We're going to continue, regardless of what happens in the November election, to work on health care reform here in Utah. And as Chairman Naranjo said, we're trying to find Utah solutions to Utah problems. You're a part of the issue that we have to address, and you're going to be a part of the solution as we find solutions going forward. So healthcare is an issue that we're going to be working on. There's many other issues. Our natural resource development, I'll just mention that kind of in passing. We as a state, as you all know, better than anybody, you were here first. We have a lot of public land out there. And it's a blessing and it's a curse. A blessing is we have beautiful vistas and venues which are able to, in fact, utilize for tourism and travel, to appreciate the beauty of nature ourselves, elevates our thoughts, and an appreciation for the Supreme Being who provided this great environment for us to live in. We also have opportunity to develop some of those natural resources. which provides us with jobs and economic opportunity, and fills the demand that we have in this country for more energy. I think all of us understand the need to become energy sufficient, energy independent, so that we're not over the proverbial barrel of the Middle East, which causes us not only economic challenges, but national security issues. And Utah is in a position to help with that need. And as we work with you, we'll make sure that we do these, have opportunities to develop in rational, reasonable, responsible ways, being good stewards of the earth, and making sure that we don't despoil the land that we have to live upon. Again, you've been a great example of that with your own culture of protecting the environment that we have here to live here, that we're all grateful to have. So whether it's in housing or economic development, job creation, education, these issues, those are important things in which we are going to be working together. This summit's allowed us to have focus on those issues as we have dialogue and discussion, see what we can do to help improve our communities, in particular our Native American community, and provide economic opportunity. Let me just talk about, again, a success that we've had. I think we're having successes in many areas. It doesn't mean we don't have challenges. We stumble occasionally, we stub our toe. But I think we've had some great successes as we've had collaboration with this Native American Summit. One that I'm very pleased about, and it's a sensitive issue. We are the second fastest growing state in America. We have internal high birth rate, so internally we're growing rapidly here in Utah. That's kind of unique to our state. But because of our great quality of life and economic opportunity, we also have people who want to move to Utah. So we have